What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Movie Cart channel. I'm here with Luke, as always, and today we're putting on our tights, talking about James Gunn and the future of the DC cinematic universe. So throughout the course of this video, we're going to kind of touch on what's come out so far with Superman, some of these other smaller projects, what's about to come out on the horizon, and then kind of our hopes for the future in general. Before we dive into all that, please like and subscribe. You know, that's what Superman would do. I mean, obviously, we started this channel because we were inspired by James Gunn's Superman
Yeah.
movie, so I think it's safe to say we enjoyed it. But what are your thoughts on just kind of how that created some of these initial building blocks and what it kind of means for movies going forward?
I remember really enjoying the way that Superman was the focal point of the movie while still introducing like the Justice Gang. Guy Gardner specifically was just a super welcome sight. And I think it set a very sweet tone, something that I think fits Superman really well. I'm a little more skeptical of how it'll fit other properties. That movie itself, I want to make sure I remember how much I liked it. It's kind of taken a beating already from the internet. There's Jim Gunn fatigue or even performative Jim Gunn fatigue already. And that I want everyone to remember, like, this is a good movie. This was a fun movie. It's the most fun we've had in the DC universe other than James Gunn's Suicide Squad, probably since fucking, I don't know, Man of Steel, if you like that movie.
There's a kind of this strange sentiment that's creeping up now. Superman wasn't all it cracked up to be. But I don't know. Everyone for like a good month and a half was like, we should be really nice to each other. Like, really inspired by that movie. I think you brought up a really good point. Superman is obviously one of the three of the trinity of DC, with Batman and Wonder Woman being the other two. And they filled the supporting cast with these B and C list characters. And I think that's really what they should continue to do. I'm honestly a little nervous they decided to go with Supergirl as the follow up, just because I think the landscape for these superhero movies and the audience has really changed
Yeah.
over the last 5 to 10 years. I don't know if you could make like a Dr. Fate movie and people are just going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I think you need to put characters like that next to a Batman or a Superman and kind of let fans be introduced to them through a more popular and well recognized
Yeah,
brand and go from
I
there.
think the people forget, and maybe even Gunn has forgotten, how much goodwill Marvel built over so many years before they started throwing out the Guardians of the Galaxy. But it was Hulk, Thor, Captain America, Iron Man. Like, I do want to say the strength so far, everyone has been cast so sublimely.
Sublime!
It's almost shocking.
I love James Gunn and I love his Superman movie and I really liked Peacemaker. But I will say, like, I'm worried he might have the propensity to get a little self-indulgent.
100%.
I really liked Peacemaker season 2 until the season finale was just like 40 minutes of John Cena just trying to bang James Gunn's hot wife while they're at a concert that's just James Gunn's favorite band playing.
Yeah.
For I swear it felt like 20 minutes. It was probably like 4, but oh my god, that was really a bit self-indulgent. And even like the Superman movie is kind of a metaphor for like how Disney treated him and how he was canceled.
Yeah.
And then people were like, wait a minute, we actually love James Gunn again.
I'm not for big studios shutting down artists, but I do think like he needs an editor. He needs people close to him, and he also needs other smart creators in the room.
And that is what gives me hope for a lot of these future projects. Is James Gunn has always maintained nothing is going to be done unless I get a script that I read that I think is worth putting this money into.
I think we're gonna see the fruits of that very quickly. I don't see Clayface cracking jokes, or like I don't think that's the kind of movie we're in for. I think that's why Clayface, I mean, box office wise, it's probably not going to make much money. It's a risk to do in general, but I think just from a strict quality standpoint, it'll be really exciting to see like who we have in the room and what they have to say about like a very unique character in Clayface.
Obviously, the script had to be incredible for them to be like, let's greenlight a Clayface movie. He's a B-list Batman villain.
Yeah.
He's a great villain, but like to not even feature him in a Batman movie, just an outright, he's going to lead this movie.
Yeah.
That really interests me. Looking past kind of James Gunn's projects, Aaron Pierre as Jon Stewart and Kyle Chandler's Hal Jordan for the Lantern Show, fantastic. One thing I am a little concerned about, I'm really excited for it, and I hope it's great. I really hope it's not not just two guys in like jackets wandering around the United States. I need it to be Green Lantern shit, you know?
I don't want to keep comparing it to Marvel and what they succeeded with in the MCU, so I'm going to try to do that as little as possible. But I do think what made them so successful, you've got a spy caper that was like the Winter Soldier, and you had like all these different like genres they were dipping in and out of while using the IP to be the driving engine and the overall story. I think if we have like a true detective type Lanterns show, I'm not like saying it's going to be that level of prestige or quality, but I could deal with a little less on the superhero stuff. This doesn't have to be Lantern Corps fighting Sinestro with big green glowing hammers in the sky. Obviously, I also want some Green Lantern shit because the Green Lantern was definitely in my top 3 Justice League members growing up. I would be okay if they went a little off the beaten path, especially with the TV properties.
That's fair. They even when they announced it, described it as a true detective type
Yeah,
story,
I
which,
think try to.
yeah, it obviously sounds awesome. But there's been so many projects that say it's like a true detective. So, like, shut the fuck up. No, like that's a one of one show. Like, you can say it's gonna be a good detective story. All right, that's fair.
You know,
But like, get the fuck out of here.
you know what else isn't very good? True
What?
Detective seasons 2, 3, and 4. Even True Detectives, not like a True Detective show.
No, you're right. It kills me because even Marvel will do that. Like they'll say it's like the Winter Soldier. And like, all right, it's just one of your best movies. Like we'll see.
I mean, and that's like all variety.com putting out, it's the best DC property yet, and like stuff like that. That's all noise. But I do feel like James Gunn, at least with me, has built a little bit of, if he says something is gonna be a little different, then I'm willing to grant him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, that motherfucker did say The Flash is the greatest comic book movie he's
He's
ever
lying,
seen.
right?
He and Tom Cruise fucking betrayed me.
That brings me to a point. One of the biggest issues before you can even get that far is we have to acknowledge how poison so many of the biggest DC assets are. Like the Flash is toxic. And I don't mean that in the sense of like masculinity or whatever. I mean like it's radioactive and its reputation is in the gutter. Wonder Woman after 1984. Toxic asset. Even Green Lantern, I think, like for the general public to get the stink of the Ryan Reynolds movie off, it's going to be really, really tough.
I think it would be a mistake to table all those characters. The smarter thing to do, and the two examples I was going to use, because I think Wonder Woman and Green Lantern there's a little bit of trouble there, but I think the Flash and Aquaman might be the two that James Gunn has even said that he seems to have no plans for. But I really just hope they put him in in another Superman movie down the line. Like Aquaman and Superman are pretty adjacent as far as like stories go in the comic books. I mean, the Flash and Superman could just like do their race around the world. Yeah. You could incorporate these really popular, famous A-listers in other ways than just a direct like solo movie. And I think it would be a huge mistake to just try and wait it out to some like undetermined amount of time to then try and bring them back on their own.
Well, in the Flash, in regards to the Flash, people are more upset with the performer. I mean, the movie was dog shit, don't get me wrong, but people were more upset with that performer. If you cast a new performer, if you have to make it Wally West, fine by me. I don't care. There's literally 5 people who've held the Flash mantle over comic book history, so I don't mind them changing the name if they think that'll remove some of it. The Aquaman thing is more interesting, and I think you can go a longer time without incorporating Aquaman into the overall story. In 10 years, we can finally meet Aquaman. He's like, y'all, it's been fucked up now. Like I've been handling stuff for a while, especially with Momoa being recast in another role. It's like I just don't see how you incorporate Aquaman and everyone just kind of likes it.
I mean, I don't know if you grew up watching the Justice League cartoon, but I grew up with Jon Stewart, Green Lantern, and Wally West Flash. Like those are the characters to me. I love Hal Jordan and Barry Allen. I think it's really cool that we're getting Jon Stewart as the new Lantern and Hal Jordan's kind of like sunsetting out of the picture, it seems like, based on the casting. Yeah. So I think it'd be sick if we got Wally West. As far as the bigger picture goes, like I just want a Justice League movie where it's not a bunch of weird fucking choices. Give me the goddamn Justice League.
I think it was all a bigger symptom of DC trying to play catch up with Marvel. Marvel had a 10-year head start with their extended universe, but the fact that they started with the Justice League fighting against Superman, who had been defeated by Doomsday, like, no, we need the Justice League kicking ass for a movie. and being a team. I'd be really interested in a Justice League movie, but I think we are so far away from that being a possibility, especially since the next year's worth of movies has come out and Clayface is one of them. So not exactly Wonder Woman and Flash.
I think Wonder Woman is in the works. They were saying there's going to be a Themyscira Paradise Island like spin-off show. And then I thought that was an odd choice. Then they kind of backtracked it and they're like, nah, it might just be Wonder Woman, actually. I'm like, all right, that sounds way better.
Yeah.
I do also want to bring up the tease for the Superman sequel, Man of Tomorrow, does sound like it's on the perfect path. The Superman and Lex Luthor, anytime a hero and the villain from the previous movie team up to fight a bigger villain, sick. I feel like Supergirl is going to come into that and be a huge part of that story. That just sounds like the perfect natural story progression.
Yeah, it's anime storytelling. It takes everything you have to beat the big bad, and then another big bad comes, and it's so bad that you have to team up with the last bad guy. So yeah, that sounds awesome and unfair to DC. They're just in a time when they're gonna have to hit some home runs fast, or else people are gonna stop showing up to the movies. And I don't think they've got the leash from Warner Brothers Discovery, which is no longer a company. I don't think they have the leash from Netflix to fiddle part around for the next couple of years with James Gunn vanity projects.
That is a dark looming shadow that we'll have to kind of wait and see how that unfolds. But Netflix buying Warner Brothers, I mean, fuck. But let's not die. Well, we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah.
But speaking of home runs, let me get into my pride and joy, my sweet baby Batman. He's easily my favorite superhero. And I just have to say, for this iteration of Batman, can we make him fun again? I love every Batman movie that's come out in the last 15 years. And call me a psycho or a nut, whatever you want, or an idiot, whatever choice of word you want to use. We need to get a little bit of inspiration from the Batman and Robin movie. Because yes, that movie is bad, but it understood a part of the Batman character that has been neglected in the movies for a really long time. And that's that there's a little bit of a fantastical nature to the character. Let him fight these crazy villains like Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy and Bane when he's like roided up on Venom. I don't want it to be bald Tom Hardy in a trench coat. I don't want it to be another random person with a mental illness like the Riddler or the Joker. Like, I'm tired of it. God damn, give me some crazy shit again.
And the thing about it is, and I totally agree, first of all, Batman himself, it doesn't have to be Adam West, where he himself is the goofball. You could take inspiration from the Arkham games, where it's just Batman, he's not funny, he's a straight man, but the city itself is pretty much paranormally haunted. It's not just downtown Chicago. And the villains around him are capable of these otherworldly, fantastical things. And maybe Nightwing comes in, or Robin, or however you want to handle it, comes in and says a couple quips and annoys Batman, gets under his skin. Maybe Selina Kyle comes in and is a little promiscuous and does stuff like that. And all of that kind of brings a little bit more character out of Batman without making him anything less than a stone cold serious detective. Because even in the most realistic Batman comic books, Gotham is still a character. The villains around him, Bane is still able to grow to 12 feet tall using like the venom that he pumps into his brain and back.
I think Damian Wayne, at least if they're going to stick to what they said, the Damian Wayne Robin is going to be in the Batman movie, which I don't really love the Damian Wayne Robin. He's probably my least favorite, but I still love that they're going to put a Robin in the movie because I think that is a quintessential part of Batman being a little preposterous.
Yeah.
It's just a child fighting crime.
Yeah, he's Coney 2012 with his own child soldier.
At least Damian Wayne was like trained by assassins. His first Robin was literally a kid in the circus. And he's like, all right, we're going to go stop supervillains that will kill you. I still think there's a non-zero chance they fold Robert Pattinson's Batman into the world. And I see a lot of people say it's way too tonally different to fit, but I think they're missing the point. I think that's exactly what they should be. The Batman movies should be these incredibly dark and kind of drab movies, and these Superman movies should be incredibly light and fun. And that's why it's so cool when the two of them meet up.
I mean, and not to glaze the Justice League cartoon of our childhood yet again, but that's where
No, you feel free to glaze it.
All of the humor of Batman and Superman came from that juxtaposition. All of their internal conflicts came from that juxtaposition. It was Dudley Do-Right and the fucking Guardian of the Night, protector of the guy. Like, they're just diametric opposites with the same goal.
100%. And that's another thing. Batman and Superman are supposed to be friends. Like, they're supposed to be best buds.
Yeah.
Stop making them trying to fight each other all the damn time.
I
It's like trying to have like Shrek and Donkey fight each other instead of team up. The reason Shrek is fucking awesome is because we watch these two best buds be unstoppable forces against
I don't know.
insurmountable odds, and they always win.
I don't know if you just stumbled ass backwards into that amazing analogy, but it's perfect considering like Shrek is Batman and Donkey is Superman. Like one of them's just endlessly optimistic and the other is like easily annoyed. And it's the same dynamic. Yeah, it's actually incredible. The Batman versus Superman stuff is all that's lunchroom table talk. Like that just and then why we decided to make that the movie and also make it completely void of joy or heart or color or really anything good. That also was an interesting choice.
Not to go too far into the criticism of the Zack Snyder characters, but my favorite part about his Batman is that he relentlessly murders every criminal he sees, but for some reason all of his supervillain criminals are just inexplicably still alive.
Yeah.
And he just won't murder. He won't shoot them in the face, but he'll shoot all of these no-name bad guys right in the face. Like he does not care.
One of the problems and one of the things I'm excited for because I actually have faith in this new regime to an extent. But the problem is that so many of the characters that I love and that you love, they kind of need the Justice League as a vehicle to get going. I think that's the most logical way to introduce all of our favorite heroes. I don't even know really if it would be possible in a logical way to introduce Martian Manhunter, who was always someone I've been obsessed with, without the use of the Justice League. Like, I feel like that would be extremely difficult. And a one-off space caper with the Martian Manhunter isn't exactly screaming my name either.
The Martian Manhunter character brings the team together in the first place, and he has kind of always been the linchpin of the Justice League. He is such a cool character. He is so underrepresented, and in the comics, with the new 52 stuff, they just relegated him out of the team for some reason.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people our age grew up with this character being a huge cornerstone of the team. I really want him to be in the...
He's Morpheus in the Matrix. Like he's like the Godfather essentially. I love the Martian Manhunter. I love the Martian Manhunter so much that even when he was Lois Lane's mom, I was like, that's dope. I'm glad he's here.
Even though that makes no fucking sense at all. Like, what a bizarre thing.
Thank God for the Snyder cut. But but that's how geeked I was off Martian Manhunter. And I don't foresee a way that he can be introduced or play any sort of meaningful role without. And I hope that's what they see for it. Because he is, to me, I know he's not part of the big three of Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman. You could also argue that he's a step below Flash, Aquaman, Green Lantern at this point. But he's right there in that talk, and certainly the next up. He's in the bullpen after those guys.
I genuinely think he's the heart of the Justice League. James Gunn, I do have a lot of faith in to write that character well. I think that it's more likely than not he pops up in a Superman movie. So I think he probably will be the one writing him, at least to bring him into the world.
Yeah.
All right, lightning round of characters I'd also like to see. Teen Titans would be sick. The New Gods, Black Canary and Green Arrow, The Question, and The Huntress. Those would all be very cool to see eventually.
Well, I'm really excited for a Hawk Girl movie. I think she's really pretty, as well as being an interesting character. But good Lord, is she a good-looking lady?
She is beautiful.
I really like. There's most of the ones that are coming to mind right now are Batman villains. Like I've been reading the Hush comics, and those are super dope. The Mad Hatter and Mr. Freeze, like you mentioned earlier, and Clayface, but he's actually an actor, and like King Shark and shit like that. Like that's all stuff I want to see Batman's rogues gallery be utilized to its fullest potential. As far as like main superheroes go, like Martian Manhunter is far and away at the top of my list. It's not even close. And I want to see the Flash utilized to his potential, which I think his powers were actually used pretty well in the Justice League movie. You know, Zack Snyder loves him a slow-mo, but I think that stuff's really cool. I want an original Justice League lineup, no fucking Cyborg.
He's a Titan. He's a Teen Titan. I'm tired of any different.
Like Raven and Beast Boy, like at the cartoon we grew up with. That lineup of Teen Titans, they don't need to be saying fuck the Batman in back alleys. And you said Green Arrow too, which that show Arrow with Stephen Amell was really good. But I'd love for him to have a blonde goatee.
And an arrow that has a giant punching bag come out of it and just clock someone in the face. Make it goofy. Make it cool.
We need a long time before like Bizarro or Doomsday. I guess Brainiac, is he probably going to be the next.
He's Man of Tomorrow. That's yeah, he's gonna be the
Yeah,
villain.
I'd like a while before we had any real universe altering threats in the DC universe. I'd like some smaller scale solvable issues for our heroes.
Yeah, I agree. I think to sum up, I really liked your villain comment. They need to use a bigger array of villains. Like it's insane. Think about this. We had a Flash solo movie and the villain was General Zod.
Yeah,
Like what the fuck?
terrible.
All right, well, those I think are all of our thoughts, at least in a small amount of time. We could probably talk about this for 6 hours,
Yeah.
but let us know in the comments who you want to see in the future, which projects that are upcoming that you're most excited about. We'd love to hear some feedback. Thanks again for watching. Fellow DC fans, it should be good eating for a while. Very exciting times. Luke, as always, thanks for joining us,
Thank you.
and we'll catch you next time.
Yeah.